Hi, I'm Amadara Mills, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're at Rummaging Villa in Pleasant Prospect. It's a tranquil property that's perfect for a holiday getaway with family and friends. As usual, it's been a pretty busy week for us. So here's what we have in store for you in the next half hour, starting with the headlines. We have all the details for Tobago's fiscal 2019 budget. More than 500 workers have been added to the permanent list in the Division of Infrastructure. And later, we find out how the island is getting ready for the hurricane season. We have all this and more when Let's Talk Tobago returns. So stay with us.
Hey, why don't you step into the Scarborough Library facility? It has all the knowledge of our land, people and heritage that you just won't find online. The Scarborough Library facility is now open. Tobago Library Services. Information inspires innovation.
If you're into nature and beautiful scenery, then Rummaging Villa is the place for you. This villa has a lush landscape that surrounds the entire property with floral furnishings that add to its charm. From nature, we turn to the economy, as Tobago presented its fiscal 2019 budget request at the Assembly Legislature. And the main areas identified for growth are agriculture, entrepreneurship, infrastructure, and tourism. Here's more. $4.58 billion. That's the Tobago House of Assembly's budget request for the 2018 to 2019 fiscal period. $3.2 billion will be for recurrent expenditure, a $40.7 million increase from last year's request. During his sixth budget presentation, the Secretary for Finance and the Economy, Joel Jack, outlines how the recurrent funds will be allocated.
Personal expenditure, $901.2 million. Goods and services, $1 billion. Minor equipment purchases, $113.7 million. And transfers and subsidies, $1.1 billion. Madam Presiding Officer, this represents an increase of $40.7 million from last year's request.
Similar to last year, the Division of Health, Wellness and Family Development is set to receive the largest allocation, followed by the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment, then the Division of Education, Innovation and Energy.
Education, Innovation and Energy, $486.6 million. Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labor, $123.2 million. Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment, $522.3 million. Food production, forestry and fisheries, $312.5 million. Health, wellness and family development, $756.3 million.
The request for development expenditure is $1.38 billion, a decrease of $328.4 million from last year's request. Finance Secretary Jack gives an insight into how those monies will be used by the THA.
The development program estimates are disaggregated as follows. Pre-investment studies, $25 million. Productive sectors, $15.5 million. Economic infrastructure, $663.7 million. Social infrastructure, $430.9 million. And multi-sectoral and other services, $215.4 million.
Priority areas for development are tourism, agriculture, education, housing, and roadworks. In addition to the $4.58 billion request from the central government, the Assembly is requesting $70 million for the Unemployment Relief Program, URP, and $54.1 million for the Community-Based Environmental Protection and Enhancement Program, CPEP. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago. Rummagen Villa can accommodate up to 6 guests. It boasts of a unique traditional Caribbean-style design with wide wraparound verandas that encourage the breeze to flow through the property and offer panoramic views. Now, consultations were held in Tobago recently by a joint select review committee on the constitutional amendment Tobago Self-Government Bill. Subsequent to this, the Forum of Political Parties provided an opportunity for further clarification of the bill by hosting a media conference. We have the highlights in this next story. A press conference aimed specifically at giving media talk show hosts a better understanding of the bill was hosted by the Forum of Political Parties. Led by Chief Secretary Kelvin Charles, Legal Counsel Ingrid Melville, Chairman of the PNM Tobago Council, Stanford Calendar, and the leader of the Platform of Truth, Ho-Joy Charles, the team explained that the goal of the draft bill is not secession from Trinidad, but to give Tobago greater legislative power.
Give us the legislative authority to deal with that, to give us self-government. Even though it's not the 3 arms, but at least 2 of them, lawmaking and executive authority. And the document, I'm not going to go through it, but I'm sure the document you see here that the people would have been talking about is that one cabinet must not override any decision made in Tobago.
The draft bill is currently before a joint select review committee. Now, before this stage, an extensive series of public consultations was carried out in Tobago and Trinidad by the Forum of Political Parties. This group includes the Platform of Truth, the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement, along with the Tobago Autonomy Secretariat. In 2016, after the input of residents of Tobago, a draft autonomy bill was created and sent to Cabinet. Besides lawmaking powers and executive authority, there are several other areas of control present in the draft bill.
A clear and defined area of jurisdiction, indicating the geographical limit within which the laws would operate. 4, adequate resources to fund the programs and projections of the island government. 5, control over the human resource which will operationalize the development of the island. 6, processes for participatory development. And 7, built-in mechanisms for oversight, checks, and balances.
During the media briefing session, several concerns were clarified. They include the 8% budgetary allocation request, the island's ability to borrow, taxation, a fiscal review committee, and the geographic definition of Tobago as expressed in the draft bill.
A very critical feature, if we are to have autonomy, is to know the extent of the area over which we can make law and policy. And as Tobago is a developing country and focuses on issues such as tourism for its mainstay, and in fact the entire country is looking at issues such as tourism for economic diversification, Tobago needs to be able to have laws and regulations that would govern the activity up to that area.
A series of national consultations which started in Tobago is a part of the review process for the draft bill. Members of the Forum of Political Parties also expect to meet with the Joint Select Review Committee next month to discuss the draft bill before it goes on for debate in Parliament. The villa has 3 bedrooms, 2 on the ground level and 1 on the upper level, all with adjoining bathrooms. The living space and the dining area feature large louvered doors that open up onto the stylish veranda. So, continuing the conversation about Tobago's autonomy as the island seeks greater control in managing its own affairs, consultations continue with the residents of Tobago on the draft bill for internal self-government. Our cameras stopped in at the latest session to bring you this next report.
Tobago seems to be getting closer towards achieving internal self-government. As the quest continues, and with a draft bill on the table, the Forum of Political Parties, which constitutes the main political parties in Tobago, and the Tobago House of Assembly, held another meeting on Tuesday, 26 June 2018 at Works Conference Room in Shaw Park. The purpose of the meeting was to gather the views, queries, concerns, but more so recommendations from the general public on the draft bill. Councillor Kwesi Devines gave a synopsis of the bill and spoke about some key areas within the bill. This provided context for the evening's discussion. One of the more contentious parts of the bill was Tobago's jurisdiction.
The question then becomes, if the legislature can make laws for the good government of Tobago, where is Tobago? The question then becomes, where's the jurisdiction of Tobago? And this is a major point of contention because the submission of the forum is not what was put into the bill.
Kamau Akili was the first member of the audience to air his views. He believes that the exclusive economic zone between Trinidad and Tobago should be equally divided, contrary to what is contained in the draft bill.
The position of dividing the exclusive economic zone equally between Trinidad and Tobago is, I support that position. I do not agree with the 11 miles of the territorial waters that is proposed in the bill before Parliament.
Economist Dr. Vanus James, who has been very vocal on the matter of self-government for Tobago, said the preamble of the draft bill is too wordy and should be more concise to avoid contention. And Vincent Taylor doesn't think the decision of Parliament should be allowed to be overthrown by a cabinet. He made this comment in reference to the bill that was passed but was subsequently amended by cabinet without any further input from Parliament.
And what we are having here is we're sitting down and allowing the Parliament pass the act. Not only did they pass the act, but they amended the Constitution to accommodate all that they passed. And Cabinet sits in Trinidad and change it, and we in Tobago saying, well, one judge in the court said, and if he says so, is so. Nobody challenged him. The judge was wrong.
THA Chief Secretary Kelvin Charles explained that Tuesday's session wasn't the beginning, but a continuation of the discussion on autonomy.
So what we had was a series, yes, of consultations and sessions that resulted in the drafting of a bill that would have been submitted to cabinet, which after being reviewed by the Chief Parliamentary Council, found its way into the Parliament. And we are now looking at it to see whether the formulations in that document are in accord with our wishes.
Mr. Charles has written to the Joint Select Committee to have another meeting in Tobago on this matter soon. I'm Patricia Nicholson for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to take a break, but coming up, workers from the THA's Infrastructure Division have now been regularized. More after these messages.
So when you hear fiddle and tambourine attack, rush back a dance and fight with a walk, jumping old time carnival, putting by the sea. Come July, Tobago is the place to be.
Tobago Heritage Festival from mid-July to August 5th. Tobago, it's the place to be.
Come on here, boaters, don't let it all. Come and spend July in Tobago.
Thanks for staying with us. Here at Rummaging Villa, you can just cool off in the large outdoor pool or lounge and relax poolside. There's also a barbecue pit and an outdoor dining table for dining or entertaining. More than 500 THA workers are now secure after the signing of the permanent list. It's meant to benefit the workers as well as the public sector by increasing productivity. Here are the details.
The permanent list is a measure that allows government establishments to treat with resource deficiencies by promoting permanent workers and bringing regular workers onto the permanent list. The last permanent list was signed back in 2009. Thursday's signing confirmed the promotion of 560 employees. 320 workers of the development program who previously held no status will be transferred into mainstream, 267 of whom have now attained regular status. Administrator Richie Toppin is quoted as saying, "The permanent list was an important instrument as it can address the issues of productivity and employee morale, providing an official and transparent means by which a majority of the employees can be treated fairly." He further stated, "It would allow for the division to promote a lot of persons and fill many resource gaps within the system, which overall can redound to a productive workforce." Secretary of the Division, Councillor Kwesi Devines, said the signing of the permanent list bears true testimony to the result of good relations among management, the THA and the union, and the benefits of maintaining a good relationship that serves the best interest of both the employer and the employees. He continued, "This is a true milestone, as it's the first time in almost 10 years, and it really benefits Tobagonians in the end." The administrator thanked the union and division's human resource team for dealing with the process in a professional manner. Signing on behalf of the division were Administrator Richie Toppin, Senior Technical Coordinator Abdallah Chadban, and Personnel and Industrial Relations Officer Edney Rajman. President General James Lambert, Second Deputy General Lydia Peters, and the Senior Negotiator Kenneth Thomas were signatories for the NUGFW. I'm Patricia Nicholson for Let's Talk Tobago.
Rummaging Villa is a birdwatcher's paradise, and it's ideally located near to one, the Grafton Caledonia Bird Sanctuary, which has guided birdwatching tours. Now this, how do we protect Tobago's coastlines and ensure there's a sufficient supply of fish for the island? Well, these are some of the issues the National Fisheries Bill intends to address, and consultations on the document were recently held in Tobago.
Fishing is a major industry for Tobago, so managing the island's supply of fish for the future is very important. Many of Tobago's fisherfolk and industry stakeholders attended public consultations on the draft National Fisheries Management Bill. The bill is a key piece of legislation for Trinidad and Tobago, which is among many countries worldwide facing challenges with coastal and fisheries management.
Around the world, fish stock have been depleted at an alarming rate as the global population continues to expand. The marine and aquatic resources must therefore be developed bearing in mind this reality. And it is in this regard that timely and appropriate legislation and management tools become necessary.
The consultation focused on issues such as the development of the fisheries industry, fisheries biodiversity, the national fisheries heritage, and territorial boundaries, even sargassum.
Now, we are facing with this sargassum seaweed, which I believe that causing a main issue with the depleting of the fish. So I'd like to know if there's anything being done or studied to help out the poor fishermen.
They are collecting environmental data and so on to try and model. They want to be able to predict which years is going to be bad, how much worse it would be, and that sort of thing, and what the impacts would be.
Participants also wanted to know more about the commercial aspect of the fisheries draft bill.
A perfunctory look at this bill reminds me of a corporation. Mm-hmm. So Trinidad and Tobago Fisheries will become a business answerable to the minister. Mm-hmm. It will have a board and it will have a fund. Mm-hmm. So in Tobago, is that the same model?
The board is advisory in nature. It's not enforcing anything. It's advising on management plans and on international agreements and best management practices and that sort of thing. The board is so structured that there are representatives from Tobago on that board.
Citizens still have an opportunity to give their insights on the draft Fisheries Management Bill. If you want to share your ideas or concerns, you can do so through written submissions up until July 15th. I'm Glenn DeFreitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
If you're getting ready to walk down the aisle, Rummaging Villa can help you create that perfect love story. Its picturesque garden can host up to 50 guests for that intimate wedding you've always dreamed of. The health sector continues to enhance the quality of its service delivery, and with the recent commissioning of new vehicles, public health services are expected to improve. We hear more from Kern de Freitas in this next report.
9 new vehicles have been handed over to the Public Health Department at the cost of more than $3 million. This investment is expected to improve the delivery of public health services in communities all across Tobago. The fleet includes a garbage truck, a backhoe, a flatbed truck, 2 dump trucks, 2 double cab pickups, and 2 buses. The Public Health Department is being encouraged to ensure the vehicles are all cared for and properly maintained.
We expect that we will embark on a preventive maintenance arrangement for these new ones and the existing ones, so that we do not create what you can call a graveyard of old vehicles. We want to ensure that we do it better, do it differently this time.
1 driver has been assigned to each vehicle. They are urged to look at the vehicles as a key part of taking the health sector forward.
In terms of operationalizing this investment, we expect and we look forward to your ownership of this investment, because if you purchase a vehicle, you will take care of it. And we have purchased for you, and we expect that you will do the same.
You're moving to create that dynamic health sector, which has to be one of the critical pillars of our vision. And at the same time, when we talk about an industrious people, we're also talking about a people who recognize and can commit to their responsibility.
But the plans for the health sector don't stop here. The department will soon benefit from training and lab services.
As we continue to reshape the public health agenda, that very soon we will have your laboratory posted here. We are going to use part of your space. We are going to move towards areas where there are gaps in training, so that we build the capacity of all of those persons where there are gaps.
The commissioning ceremony for the new vehicles was held at the Public Health Department compound in Signal Hill. I'm Kern de Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
We have to take a break, but when we return, we have details about how Tobago is preparing for the 2018 hurricane season. Stay with us.
So when you hear fiddle and tambourine attack, rush back a dance and fight made a walk, jumping old time carnival, pulsing by the sea. Come July, Tobago is the place to be.
Tobago Heritage Festival from mid-July to August 1st. Tobago, it's the place to be.
Come and hear both taste, don't let it all. Come and spend July in Tobago.
You can begin your next Tobago adventure right here from Rummaging Villa. It's a great starting point for a tour in any direction. Or if you'd rather stay close to home and explore your surroundings, there are beaches, water sports, and a range of restaurants, all within a few minutes. The winning students of the 2017 Secondary Schools Art Competition produced some memorable art that graced the 2018 Office of the Chief Secretary calendar. And recently, they also received their rewards at the prize-giving ceremony. Crystal George brings you the details.
Success is the result of perfection, hard work, learning from failure, and persistence. Those are the attributes that 2017 Secondary School Arts Competition winners exhibited. And they were rewarded for their success at the prize-giving ceremony for the event, which is hosted annually by the Office of the Chief Secretary. Chief Secretary Kelvin Charles praised students for the quality of their work. He's encouraging them to keep working to fulfill their potential.
I want to encourage you to continue producing the quality of work that you have done over the years. Persevere with this passion and talent. You may wish to make a career out of it, or you may decide to do it for a second stream of income someday, or you may simply want to use it to relax, to keep your sanity, and to stay composed in a world that is evolving, perhaps at the speed of light.
The students also earn praises for sticking with art, which isn't considered by many to be a mainstream subject area.
At this time, when there's so much negativity about our youths these days, we really want to congratulate those persons who have taken the time, who have been encouraged, who have embraced the idea of turning your creativity into something positive.
As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, every artist was first an amateur, and clearly they have passed the test. The Chief Secretary, who is also the Secretary of Education, Innovation and Energy, says he wants to provide additional support for the creative sector.
One of the areas that we are looking to explore in respect of growth and development of the island or the economy of Tobago has to do with the development of the creative industries. So art, fine arts, dance, music, drama, fashion, etc. We are seeking to promote and develop those things.
The secondary school's art competition has been running for the past 6 years. The prize-giving ceremony was held at the Anne Mitchell Gift Auditorium of the Scarborough Library facility. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to have your say. It's the segment of our program where we hear from you, the viewers. Let's take a look at who had their say this week.
Alright, so we're here with Miss Jordan right now. So we're here with Bruce right now. So we're here with Brent right now. We're asking Mr. Phil. And we're asking about Winchester. I can't cooperate.
Have your say. This week we want to find out from folks how they feel about the THA's budgetary request for just about $4.5 billion.
As a self-employed man, come with me. I've got to survive, right? So I don't usually make the budget a problem. Whatever it is, I survive by it.
Himself, they ask for more. What are they doing with the money? They're doing stupidness with the money, so you waste that time.
It would be good for Tobago because the economy at Tobago have dropped drastically. As a single parent in Tobago, we not really seen we weigh that budget. Is years THA asking for a certain amount and we just never get that amount. We always get less. And we not reaching nowhere in Tobago right now. Businesses we crying because we ain't really making no money. If you can't get good, so you go make money, right? Is everything just drop?
Well, based on the Tobago economy right now and what's going on here, we could do with that kind of funds to really get things going in terms of infrastructure, business-wise and everything.
We close yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago. And as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Amadara Mills, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and a productive week. We leave you with a montage of Roxborough Police Youth Club's Family Day and Night Football. Do enjoy.
Thank you.